Do
two
you
eggs on
guys
top.
use multivitamins ever, by the way? No,
No.
I
you
do.
avoid it.
I
So
do.
you
I do.
okay. I
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
I do.
interested because I know like some people they see it as you're overburdening your body with a clusterfuck of stuff at once. So you can't like accurately get each amount that you want through,
Hmm.
whatever supplementation means you do or through your diet. And then some people think it's like an insurance policy. So I was kind of interested to hear your stance on it.
I have a slow release version that I take with meals, and then whatever my body wants to take from that, it will take, and the rest you will, excrete, right? But I eat very nutritious foods anyway, so I have several diets that I follow sometimes that have no supplementation attached, and I still get the majority of my micronutrients in, besides the vitamin D3, for example, which you need through sun exposure. So I get that in supplemental form. Maybe I'm not happy with my selenium intake. I add a little bit, or add a few Brazil nuts, and I'm good, right? So there's diet interventions you can put into practice where you can get all the micronutrients already, and then you like a lot of the thorn research one that you're taking, right? That's like in the morning that's a couple tablets, and in the evening a couple tablets. Then you get 100% to 1,000% of whatever the micronutrients it contains, but it's not always required. You can get like 50% of the micronutrients from supplementation and the rest from food, and then maybe you end up at 125% of the daily or the dietary reference intake, not and underneath the upper tolerable limit. So that's why I make all the micronutrients for all of my clients, to make sure that we stay on top of everything, and the ratio between electrolytes, and the ratio between omega 3s and omega 6s and omega 9s, right?
Yeah.
Because they all go through similar transport or similar enzymatic reactions, So it's an insurance policy, but you should still eat nutritious food. People that go whey protein 100% on their diet, they miss a lot on a lot of micronutrients and iodine, obviously, because it's only found in whole eggs and
Kind of got
kelp.
me thinking on the iodine part though, because some of these multivitamins have your daily amount of iodine in it. And then if you're
Yeah.
having a shit ton of iodized salt on all your foods all day, and then you're having, whatever else is in your diet, if you have a fairly comprehensive diet, is that too much iodine where you're stressing out your thyroid?
It's so let's say you have 10 grams of iodized salt per day, you get about 450 micrograms of iodine. So
That's a
that's
lot
still
though, isn't it?
half. It's a lot,
Let
but
me
it's
say
still
something
not
before we
to the
continue.
top. Yeah.
I don't think we should continue yet, because the 400 to 600 microgram range can induce or worsen autobody
Oh, there already. Yeah.
antibody formation for sure, increasing immunogenicity of TG. Also, in populations that have been given iodized salt, they call them iodinization. They have found that anti-TPO antibodies go from 14% to 24%, and anti-TG antibodies go from 14% to 20%. So I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying 400 is wrong. I'm just saying there is an antibody developing, meaning your body is reacting to your thyroid at that dose. So potentially it could be potentially too much for you.
So
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 you don't use the multivitamin, Leo, right?
I don't for a variety of reasons, which I can get into. So
yeah, but
really quickly, really quickly, really quickly.
okay, go
I
for it.
don't think that everyone else shouldn't use them, and that's not what I mean at all. If you want to be efficient, like if you can't take too many supplements, and do you have a multivitamin in your array, Derek, from Gorilla?
No, I was thinking of designing one
That's what
though.
I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
there can be designed an excellent multivitamin for people that is not harmful, for people that they can't take 40 supplements like I do, or 50 or whatever the hell, or they don't need to manipulate what they're taking on a daily basis, or depending on what they're eating or whatever. They're not that into it. They want an insurance policy. If you have an insurance policy, companies that I admire, one I admire is Jarrow. The reason why, they don't have a multivitamin. They have a B vitamin. They have a complex for E vitamins. They have an A complex vitamin. They have a mineral supplement. Why don't they combine them together? They don't want to put selenium. They don't want to put iron, especially iron. You'll find it's most multivitamin people, like a lot of a lot of vitamin companies know not to include iron in their multivitamins. The
For their
reason
own, yeah.
being is this: not everyone needs iron, and if you are someone like me who wants to live a very long time, you probably want to reduce your iron levels to just, if you're a man, just to the level where you're almost anemic, unless you have a health condition that I don't know about. But like someone like me who's healthy, I really want to be around anemic. Actually, I am almost anemic right now, and I like to be at that level. So I don't want to eat any extra iron. When I eat my liver, which I love to eat, which has choline and folate in it and all these other wonderful things, and it's natural, I get worried about the iron. So I'm not going to take a multivitamin. More than that, I actually want specific amounts of certain things personally. So I'm not always, there's nothing that I do take sometimes. If I don't have liver, I take Jarrows, which I just want to let the audience know Jarrow supports the state of Israel with donations. So if you don't like this, the fascism or apartheid or anything like that, maybe you don't buy it, but I do sometimes. I admit I do. And I buy the B Right vitamin, which has a good B complex. Sometimes I'll do that and I use some of their other vitamins, but not a whole just in one. I already take 50 supplements. What would be the point? You know, I'm taking I'm taking potassium, I'm taking magnesium, I'm taking everything individually, you know, and I'm sometimes.
Oh, you actually take all of the minerals too.
Yeah. Zinc. You can't take zinc with your multivitamin because are you taking a multivitamin on an empty stomach?
Yeah.
Then you're not digest. Yeah, then you're not going to digest the zinc. Zinc is not digestible with food. You got.
Yeah, but I have enough meat throughout the day to kind of hit.
Oh yeah. No, but maybe I don't know, because a lot of the studies on zinc supplementation are not with people that are like vegans. I mean, they're not eating a lot of meat, maybe like you, so I guess maybe it wouldn't count for you. But someone like me, I need the zinc separately. I need to absorb it because it really affects the brain tremendously.
Yeah, I take a couple supplements separately on an empty stomach, but what I do majority of the time, you take your supplements on an empty stomach 30 minutes before meals. You allow for adequate time to absorb the supplements, which should be absorbed in a state of fasted state, and then whatever supplements don't get absorbed, you wash it away with food.
That's very good.
And then it gets absorbed. So the convenience, of course, that's why multivitamins are so convenient, because they, you cover all bases for the cases that are people that are not so pay so much attention to their diet, like I do, because I work from home. I'm self-employed. I can spend all day in the kitchen if I wanted to, and then answer messages on the phone. But not everybody is so so fortunate to be in that position. And for people who have very busy lives, multivitamin on empty stomach is probably okay. And then 30 minutes later, you have a meal and you take care of this, like the fat soluble vitamins or micronutrients that need some sort of transporter that comes from the food or through enzymatic reactions in the intestinal tract.
Steve, you still not giving up selenium? I don't me and Steve always have this, like, privately, where I'm like, you need to stop selenium. He likes selenium because it's very useful in the body. It's an antioxidant. It's used in so many processes. He's totally right.
I'm not overdoing it.
No, but
I'm getting 400, 500 micrograms per day.
But you're trying to kill that one thing that is associated with selenium.
Yeah.
So
many things are associated with NAFLD. That's the problem,
Everything
everything is like I spent like 4 months on liver tox, and everything is associated with and I have none of the symptoms. I don't have high serum triglycerides. I don't think you have. I cut out all the fruit now because I found the correlation between fructose intake and whether that's from fruit or high fructose corn syrup. And so I'm only eating vegetables, and somehow I'm still cognitive. I'm surprised by this fact.
How is your appetite and whatnot?